Okay.
Okay, hi everybody. We are here in my kitchen today learning about the basic elements of art. And so today we are going to focus on form. So let me back up a second. So the basic elements of art are the visual tools that artists use to compose a work of art. And the visual tools, as we have talked about in class, are line, form, color, space, value, texture, and shape. These are the tools that artists use to communicate when they're creating a piece of artwork, or tools that they use to compose a piece of artwork. Okay, so we talked about line. Now today we're going to talk about form. Okay, and we're going to touch on shape, but we'll get back to that in more detail later. Okay, so first let's talk about form versus shape. A form, first let's go, a shape is a 3D figure. It has width and height. It doesn't have any depth. It is flat and there's no thickness to it. So you can't go around it. It's like if you were holding up a piece of paper. This is a 2D shape. It has height and width, okay? Form, on the other hand, is 3D. It has width, height, and depth. So it's like, an example would be like this cube. We have width, height, and then depth. Okay, so it has volume. You can put something inside of it. It has body. Okay, it can be seen from more than one side. So an example would be this structure right here. It has width, it has height, it has width, and then it has depth. So it contrasts to the shape of this piece of paper. Okay? And further, form can take two forms. There's two types of form. There's geometric form, which is mathematical, it's precise, it can be measured, it can be named. So examples of that would be a sphere, so you can move over here, a sphere, a cube, not a cube, this is, where'd the cube go? Somebody stole my cube. Yep, my cube is gone. A cylinder, a pyramid, like the pyramids, and a cone. Okay, those are different examples of a geometric shape that can be measured and named. Organic forms are free-flowing, they're curvy, they're not symmetrical, they're not the same on one side as the other, and they're not easily measured. So examples of that would be this mushroom here, this branch. It's an organic form. Rocks. It is not symmetrical. You can't really measure it unless you were to use a very special high-tech device to measure this. This coral over here is a really cool example of an organic form. Animals. This poor destitute dinosaur that's had surgery on it is an example of an organic form. It's curvy. It doesn't have, it could be symmetrical, just like people are kind of symmetrical, but we're free flowing. Oh, here's another good example of an organic form. A mushroom. It's found where? In the neighbor's yard? Okay, here, you can take it. Okay, so that's the difference between form and shape, and then the different types of form. Okay, so now we're going to talk about how form has appeared in art. Okay, so let's see. First, we're going to talk about how it is represented in artwork. So, in drawing and painting, the illusion of three-dimensional form is conveyed through the use of light and shadow, and then rendering value and tone. So shape is defined by the contour. If you look at this right here, this is the contour, the outside line of an image, okay? But once you start identifying where's the light source coming from, the light is shining right on his forehead. So this is gonna be the lightest value, and we're gonna talk more about that later. And then here's the darkest values back here in the shadows. So, it doesn't matter, it's a good example. Okay, so this is how 3D is represented, and don't do that please, in art, okay? By using light and a light source, and shadows, and rendering the value and the tones that we see. So value being from lightest to darkest. All right, Kaleo, please don't do that. All right, so let's see. I wanted to show you another example of a famous piece of work that's in the Louvre. This is a very famous museum in Paris that my husband and I went to in 2007 on our honeymoon, and we brought this back. So here is a painting of Louis the, oh shoot, which one was it? Louis the...
Oh, he's wearing high heels.
Oh yeah, these guys were fancy.
And
he's Louis the 14th, yeah.
is he supposed to be like a lady?
He was a king, and he was all about himself.
King or girl?
But here we have shadows back here, the darkest values that we see, and more dark values in here. And so the lightest tones are coming in right here where the sun is hitting it, and puffy hair. Yeah. So this is an example of a famous piece of artwork, the portrait of Louis the 14th. Okay. And okay. You can set that down. I don't need it right now. All right. So let me see if I have anything else that I wanted to say about paintings. All right. So now let's talk about sculpture. Sculpture is where is it? Is the most closely tied form. 3D is most closely related to, closely tied to sculpture, since it is a three-dimensional art. Timothy, I am in the middle of doing a lesson right now. No, you're not getting on here. No, you guys need to go outside. Okay, no you may not. Please stop, you're interrupting me. I lost my train of thought here. So, sculpture. We're talking about sculpture and how sculpture is a form of artwork that is tied really closely to 3D or to form, because it is, in essence, a three-dimensional type of art. It's okay. Let's see. Three-dimensional forms can be seen from more than one side. Traditionally, forms can be viewed from all sides, called sculpture in round. But there's also something called sculpture in relief, and I want to show you a picture of that. It's also found in the Louvre. Sculpture in relief. So here is a picture. Cassie, Timothy, please stop talking. Here is sculpture in relief. This is a sculpture that is attached to a solid background. Okay? So historically, sculptures were made in the likeness of someone who was famous, or a hero, or a god. So here is some examples of sculpture in relief where the sculpture is, this is made out of marble. So these are in relief. These ones are in round. We'll just deal with it later. It's okay. So these are sculptures that you can go all the way around and see the complete three-dimensional aspect of the sculpture. Okay, so these are sculptures that are also in at the Louvre in Paris. All right, so I wanted to show you one more thing about sculpture, and that is
My hand.
nice. How sculpture has taken another dimension. Cassie, you gotta pay attention to what you're videoing. Has taken another dimension in the 21st century. It took on the 4th dimension, and that is the movement. How art is affected by movement. So there was an artist who created these sculptures. They're sculptures using wire and other objects to create art that was really balanced and would move by the slightest movement of air. And so the meaning of sculpture was broadened with this open type of art. Okay? So this is form. And these are examples of form in their varied ways. And this is two-dimensional art right here. It's flat and it's done by Kaleo scribbling on my counter, which I'll take care of. All right, back away. Okay, so up here. This is the element of art, form in a nutshell. All right, so we'll come back to learning about what our project will be in a minute. Okay, thank you.